Hello and welcome to this installment of the GrailSpot instructional video series. In this video I will show you how to set up the GHB to place a simple bet in manual select mode. So first of all, you need to make sure that you're logged in to the bot. When you're logged in, this little icon here will show you a green tick, and of course the Betfair balance will be displayed. So to log in, we go to Action and select Login. Here you enter your member's username, this is the one you set up for the members area, then your Betfair username and your Betfair password. Then you simply tick the terms and conditions box and press the OK button to log in. Now, as I'm already logged in, we don't need to do that, so I'll just press cancel. Okay, so let's set up our betting parameters first of all. So we need to open the action menu and select options. This will load up the main options screen. The options menu contains all of the betting parameter functions, which as you can see there are rather a lot of. Now, in this video I'm going to show you how to get the bot to place a straightforward bet, so I'm going to gloss over some of the non-essential settings. However, you can view more in-depth info and videos about each area of the bot by clicking the blue question mark icon. So first we need to decide which type of event we're going to bet on. So by clicking the event type drop down, we can see all of the events that the GrailSpot can get involved in. For this example, I'm going to use horse racing. Next we have the max API rate box. This can be left at default for now. We then need to choose whether we are going to trade in live or paper mode. Live mode means that the bot will be placing live bets on the market, and paper mode will be simulation betting. In this mode, the bot will behave as if it is placing your bet, but will not actually put a real bet into the market. There is more information about paper trading in the manual and online help pages. Okay, so we move on to the profit, loss and stop settings. This is one of the most important features of the bot, which is why I would like you to set this up now. You have several options here. The bot will stop at whichever one of these features is hit first. The stop at profit and stop at loss settings are the monetary figures at which you wish the bot to stop at. You can also set the bot to stop at a percentage of your bank by ticking the box below. The other options here allow you to apply several different types of stop limits. There's more information on the click the blue question mark on the corner of the tab. Okay, so once we've set up the stop limit, we move on to the session tab. Again, there are a number of options here, and you can find out more about these options by clicking the blue question mark. For this example, we're just going to use the Start Betting TTS. This is a global setting that tells the bot when to start monitoring the odds to place your bet. You can set this to whatever number of seconds you wish, but please do remember that it has to be in seconds. So for this example, I'm going to use the default and bet at 60 seconds or 1 minute before the start of the race. Okay, so let's move on to your stake and odds range settings. This is where you will set up your master betting conditions. As you can see, we have a number of options on the back or lay tabs at the top here. Both tabs are identical except for one is set up to back and the other is set up to lay. So for this example, we're going to back, so we set up the back tab like this. First, let's select our stake type. The two main ones are stake, which is the fixed amount that you wish to bet, or liability. Liability is mainly for laying, it's your stake worked out based on the odds on offer. You can find out more about each of these options by again clicking the blue question mark in the corner of the tab. So for this example, we're just going to use standard level stake. We set our stake to 10p and we move down to our odds trigger range. The odds trigger range is the minimum and maximum odds limits that you want to take on your bet. So for this example, let's set it to 1.02 to 10 to allow the bot to capture those specific odds when you load your markets. Now, you will need to hit the OK on the options screen and this will save your settings. So now we have set up our global betting parameters, we need to add some markets. So we go to Action, select Market Management, then Add Markets. This will bring up the screen you see here stating Getting Markets, please wait. This is pulling down all of the course and race info from Betfair, so sometimes it can take a little while. Normally no more than a minute or so. Please make sure that you wait for this splash screen to disappear of its own accord before you attempt to add any markets, because closing the splash screen manually cuts off the data connection to Betfair's market pool, which will result in the markets not forming correctly in the bot. So, once the splash screen has gone, here you have a list of filters that allow you to break down the available markets to only view the ones that you are interested in. If this is the first time that you have run the bot, you may find that it's blank like this. If you're familiar with Betfair, then you'll be able to understand what each of these filters are for. You can always refer once again to the blue question mark if you are unsure. So for this example, we're going to look at the UK win markets, so we set our filters like this. We now have all of the UK win markets for today. So next, we select the races we want, and you can select more than one race by holding down the Control key and clicking multiple races. Then we click OK to accept and load the markets. As you can see, our markets are now in the main screen. The markets will appear in red, and this is because when using manual mode, you will need to select the runners yourself. So double click on the race you want to select your runners from, and you will be presented with the race card screen. This screen displays a snapshot of the race card and is used to control which runners you wish to bet on. As you can see, our start betting TTS is carried over from our global options that we set earlier. You can change anything here and it will override your global settings if you wish. Clicking the blue question mark will take you to a page that gives you in-depth info about each of the options. So let's select our horse. S selects your specific runner for that race with your back or lay settings. As you can see, this highlights the horse and shows us the global settings that are ready to be applied. Once you have done this, hit OK and your race will appear black in the bot. This is to indicate that a selection has been identified as a possible bet based on your trigger settings. Now, all you need to do is click Start. It will warn you that you're about to go live trading or paper trading, depending on which option you have chosen. The bot will then start counting down to the race start. This column here is called Bets. This is where your selection will appear once the bet has been submitted to the exchange. You can expand or collapse this in any of the other columns simply by clicking and dragging the column divider. So now all we have to do is wait for our bet to be picked up. As you can see, at 60 seconds before the race, the bot goes into a monitoring state. And once the bet has been placed, it will go done. And as you can see, we now have a bet on Viscount Vert for 10 pence at 5.10. And that's how to set up a bet in manual select mode.